Here we are. Well, welcome everyone. Today we are going to go through clearing congestion with clarity. One of my favorite subjects. I think that anyone that's experienced any sort of acne, congestion, breakouts, we all know how it feels and how it can affect, when we are, facing the day. So just getting that one breakout can be something that can be quite upsetting for some. When you're actually getting 20 new breakouts, even more so. And so I know that was me, and I didn't have it when I was 14. I didn't have acne at 14. I had it as an adult. And I went, this is not right. I'm an adult. I should not be having acne. I was facing everyone with, congestion every day. And that congestion had its own heartbeat. That's the only way I can. It was just something that I knew was always there. And when you are in our industry, you're the esthetician, you're this person that's meant to be the specialist, showing someone to, it's heartbreaking. And then when you do see your clients going through the same thing, you feel this compassion. And I think this is why I am so passionate about clarity and what we achieve and the results that we achieve with this product range, because it is just beautiful. It's done in a way that's very gentle. It's very safe for the skin. We're not going in there and creating this harsh environment which defeats everything it's actually meant to achieve. So this is why I want to share with you today clearing congestion with clarity, effects that it can have, and what is it? Why do we see congestion? Why does it happen? So I've got a presentation, so hopefully everyone can see this. Is that all coming through, everyone?
Yep.
That might even be better. Okay, so clearing congestion with clarity. The great thing is this range is not very big. It's designed to be a range so that it's very precise, but let's get started. So let's have a look at how does congestion, or breakouts, they come in all sorts of forms, don't they? If only we had a nice functioning follicle. We know that, when we look at the cells, we might have blackheads, we might see whiteheads occurring as well. We might see those deeper set ones, which are more your papules and pustules as well, and those real, deep set, nodules as well. And they're the ones that I say have almost like their own heartbeat. The blood's rushing to that area, it's trying to heal, and this is what we see starting to occur in that feel. So a whitehead's actually going to form when the follicle is closed, and a blackhead is going to form when the follicle is open. And so we also see bacteria as well forming. So we see a buildup of dead skin cells occurring on the skin. And if you haven't already seen, we've got obviously this little sheet, and I'm going to go through how this actually happens and what's going on in this picture and why we use this, and why I really encourage that you have one of these. They're all free. They're part of our marketing. So please add them into your next order, because this is great to have up on your wall to talk about the process and to also talk about the ingredients that are in here, which is what we're going to go through today. But this is a really good thing to have in your business. We also see bacteria. Now, we naturally have bacteria, don't we? This little ecosystem. But bacteria, we know this as P. acnes, or the new terminology as well now is C. acnes. So this is the Acutibacterium acne. And the difference now is that they've just found that this is, broken down into the bacteria that relates directly to the skin. So when you look at P. acnes can actually be found in other areas such as cheese and dairy products and all of those sorts of things as well. So this is really specific to the skin. So when we are talking C. acnes now, this is the bacteria that we see forming, and what we can find happens to cause this breakout on the surface of the skin. What we'll start to see is that it can cause inflammation as well, and this is where we start to see that bacteria starting to change. So obviously oil is another component to why we see congestion, and obviously, as I mentioned before, inflammation as well. So we've got a lot of factors going on to see congestion, to see acne occurring on the skin. So as I mentioned before, we've got this little ecosystem. Now, if our microbiome is not in good balance, this is when this can affect, and this is why it's really important how much our clients are taking care of their skin, what they're doing. There's a lot of different factors. I like to explain this to a client. I'm actually just going to stop sharing just for a minute, just so I can show you my little drawing, and to also explain that the little done up as well. But yeah. Okay, so obviously with acne and obviously with that drawing, I like to explain, I like to sit down, and part of the consultation process is I'll talk to people about what's actually happening in that follicle. So let's have a look at the follicle. My lovely drawings as always. So this is obviously a picture of a follicle in case you didn't know. So what we have here is our follicle. And when we see breakouts, and what we start to see is, naturally we have a little bit of oil, don't we, in our skin? Yes, we have a little bit of bacteria. That's okay in a good functioning skin, no problem at all. We might have a few little dead skin cells as well. But what happens is when we start to see congestion occur, we start to see a buildup of the dead skin cells occurring around the actual follicle entrance as well. And what we also then start to see is a buildup of more oil. The oil also becomes thicker, it becomes stickier. This is another thing that starts to occur. I always talk about, nutrition and health. If we can increase their omegas in their diet, it can actually help with that consistency of the oil as well that they are producing, and also the inflammation. But what we also start to see is this bacteria. Now, I like to explain it like a bathroom without a window. That little bit of mold in the corner of the bathroom can escalate very quickly if there's no opening. If there's no window as well in this room, it's going to multiply and multiply very fast. So this is when we start to see that bacteria, the oil, everything all starts to build up in this follicle. That's when we also then start to see inflammation, don't we? This is when we also start to see the whitehead that starts to occur, all of the extra things that start to happen. And what do? We want to cover it up, don't we? So then we put a really thick makeup over the top. So you can see what starts to happen. It's almost like a catch-22, isn't it? When we start to see a breakout, well, we see people squeeze them, or we actually see them cover it up with lots of makeup. So we're adding to that, I guess that into the, allowing for the cell to breathe better. And we're also then adding to that blockage as well. So yes, we might be able to shortly cover that up, but we are able to do a quick fix and cover that up. But long term, we're going to see another breakout, aren't we? Also, when we see that little breakout, the first thing that we see is everyone wants to do is we squeeze it, don't we? So when we do squeeze, this is why we need to talk to our clients. No squeezing, please. We have some magic wands, so we'll talk to them about those later. But when we do squeeze, what happens is we usually see blood happen, don't we? So when we squeeze, we see the blood happen. And then if you can imagine, we've actually broken this wall inside. So then the little follicle next door is actually seeing everything go straight towards it. So this is when we sometimes see two little breakouts occurring. So then maybe three. So this is why it's really important to our clients about, trying to avoid squeezing, to avoid that bacteria. Have they got clean hands when they are? This is why we need to make sure that they're coming to you to actually have any extractions done. Do it in an environment that is very hygienic and done the correct way, not their version. So it's really important that we explain that. So I also say, if we could just take away some of those dead skin cells on the surface. Oh, I should have also said, sometimes we see ingrown hairs too, don't we? Because of that blockage that can happen as well. And so that little hair follicle is actually struggling to get through. But if we can just eliminate some of those dead skin cells on the surface, if we can eliminate some of the oil and the bacteria that's occurring inside and eliminate some of that inflammation, then we're going to see less breakout. Okay, does that make sense? If we can just take away just a little bit of those things, we're going to see less breakout. No matter what the causes are or what's that trigger that they're seeing, if we can just change that function, we're going to see a healthier skin. We're going to see a better functioning cell as well. So, okay, so that's just a really good way to explain it to your clients as well. If you don't have time to do that with them, you've got your chart that you can do the same thing. So what we see initially is inflammation, dead skin cells, a buildup of oil and bacteria that start to occur. By using the Clarity range, what we're doing, and you can run through the ingredients, what we're actually doing is helping to reduce that inflammation, to reduce the amount of dead skin cells or dying cells on the surface, and to also reduce that bacteria and anti-inflammatory results so that we get a clearer follicle. Can you see how quickly you can say that to them? Yeah, so nice and easy. All right, so I'm just going to go. All right, so is everyone feeling quite comfortable with that explanation as well? Okay, great. So what are the different stages of acne? Now, we have to be realistic. When clients are coming into us as well, we might see the odd one little breakout. We might see two little breakouts that are happening. When we look to, this is where we're seeing, maybe up to 5 lesions in the skin. When we're seeing a grade 3, this is where we're seeing a lot more. So we're seeing that 6 to maybe 20 lesions occurring on the skin. And this is when it's starting to become a little bit more severe. We might start to see some nodular lesions occurring now as well. It's when we see grade 4 that we're seeing a lot more. So this is like over 50 lesions on the skin. This is when we really need to be talking with doctor as well to, really look at what's going on internally and how we can assist. As really important to know, because I know we're very passionate. We want to help our clients to the very last end, but there might be some more things going on internally that we're just simply not able to assist them with as well. So this is why it's really important to really look at, okay, what can we do? What can we do topically? How can we assist them topically? Really talking to them about, what is going to be something that's really good for them. We know a lot of, medical practitioners will do is that they will prescribe things that can affect our clients internally. And this is why it's just really taught to them as well as to, some of the medication that can be prescribed can really affect their oil production, not only on the surface of the skin, but internally. And this is when we can see some health issues going forward. So really talk to them about what it is that they are doing. Maybe not go for the strongest and most aggressive style first. I know I tried going with dairy-free, wheat-free, all of these sorts of things, and it just wasn't enough for my skin. I needed to have that little bit of a change as well. And so I went on an antibiotic, something that was actually, a better option for me at the time. Everyone's different. They need to decide what's right. But really understanding that, there can be some side effects with some of the medication that's out there, and talk to them through as to what's the best option. But we all know that that's a very severe case. Of our clients that are coming to us, they might fit into this grade 2 or grade 3, which is ideal for us. We can help them on that journey. If they are the grade 4 and they are working with the doctor, we need to then look at the whole process as being maybe more hydrating, not necessarily clarity. So this is why we need to identify. But obviously, grades 2 and 3, ideal for us to treat. It's fantastic to see those changes. So, okay, so let's have a look at where we see acne. How do we know what might be the triggers, what's being caused by some of these areas? So when we see it on this forehead area, and sometimes it's just on the forehead area, the rest of the face is perfect, isn't it? So does anyone know what this might mean? I love just Chinese diagnosis and, really look at what's going on either internally or topically as well. Is anyone brave enough? And nothing's wrong. You can't get this wrong, can you? So when we look at this top area on the face, It can be digestive. It can be the foods that we're eating as well. But we usually see this in our younger clients. It might be our 14-year-olds. They might be eating some food they shouldn't, or eating like a fringe, hairspray that occurs on this forehead area. So this is why it's really important to look at, why is it just occurring on the forehead area? We know that hormones definitely play a big part in our 14-year-olds as well, because this is when it all starts to happen. And they will seem to just have them on that forehead area. So this is why it's important to sort of say, okay, what's the age of my client? What are they doing? Are they using makeup that might be a longer stay makeup? As an example, it's quite heavy as well. We see a lot of primers that are being used by our younger girls out there as well, because they want to have this smooth finish as well. Shampoos, conditioners, all of these things can be a big effect on the forehead area. Also, when we cleanse the skin, are we cleansing all the way? Are we just getting breakouts along that hairline? So the things that I always, talk to clients about, could it be any of those conditions as well? What about this chin area? Does anyone know? So the chin area is usually our first sign of elimination. So if someone's had an upset tummy, I guarantee you, if they've had constipation, diarrhea, anything like that, it's going to show up in that same time. A really good thing to know is if you're getting a breakout, if it's red and if it's inflamed, it's happening now. So something is going on internally in the body, or something has happened topically as well. So this is a really good indication. We know pigment term, don't we? Or it's happened, due to something as well. But acne or a congestion or a breakout, this is happening now. It's telling you something. You'll also notice we've got another picture just along this area. Oh, I should have said too, the chin area can be simply like we do this. So this is another one that can happen as well. We tend to be watching things or doing things. I can see Lorraine's doing it now. She's on there. So it's one of those things when we touch the area, that can also be another one as well. The other one I wanted to show you was just along, I call them the adrenal areas. So we see them just underneath that jawline area, and sometimes we'll see it just on this temple zone as well. So we usually know that if it's in this zone, if it's along these areas, it's hormonal, testosterone as well for our males as well. So we're seeing that change. So anywhere that there's sort of this is a way that I in my mind, if there's a beard that would be growing, it would be in this zone, wouldn't it? So it tends to be that hormonal changes, and that's what we start to see our older, clientele. So, maybe it might be they're in their late 20s, and they're starting to get that congestion and those changes as well. So we see this happen. Also, I mentioned adrenals, so stress can be a really big factor as well. We start to see that change. Now, you'll notice the girl in the picture as well. She's got, quite a lot of purple markings. So you can see she's covered all in this zone. She's covered in the forehead as well. But you can see the color. I don't know if anyone can really notice that color. Does anyone know what that color can actually as well?
Zinc deficiency.
Yeah, great work, Mia. That's exactly right. So when you see that purple marking, it's usually a sign of the healing. So whether she's squeezed them, or it almost feels like, that there might be a couple of little breakouts in there, but she hasn't got a lot. She's just got a lot of the markings that are still there after having that breakout. And this is usually a sign of that poor healing process. And it could be a sign that she could be zinc deficient as well. So this is where we've got our nutritional expert as well. But, it's always good to identify what could it be. Now, you can get little zinc tests where they're very safe. Most of the pharmacies sell them, and they just they actually identify. You just taste a little bit of this test. and it will tell you if they could be zinc deficient as well. So this is a really great thing to even have in your business, to talk to, then link up with our beautiful, you know, nutritionist expert. So, you know, having people around you that you can link up with, that you can actually talk about internal nutrients as well. This is really important to have. So identifying can be a massive thing, because if we can just eliminate some of those triggers, it really does make a big difference as well. Okay. So let's have a look at some of the ingredients that can really work. As I mentioned before, if we could just exfoliate some of those dead or dying cells on this, we could definitely, you know, make a massive change. So AHAs, BHAs, enzymes, all of these sorts of things are going to help with slopping off those dead skin cells. And we want to do it in a gentle and safe way. We don't want to go in there really aggressive, because you know, if we go in there with a really you know, I guess the quick result that people think that if they go in there with an intensive peel, that's actually going to help with getting rid of the acne. But what you actually find is, what tends to happen with a peel is that we see inflammation, we see redness. So we're adding to this, aren't we? So although you might think it's the quick fix, it's not necessarily. We do want to have a little bit in there. We want to make sure that we can exfoliate those dead skin cells or dying cells in a nice, gentle way. Remember, we've got to remember about our microbiome as well, don't we? And keeping that nice and healthy. Obviously, we do ginger root extracts as well. Now, this is actually a really great ingredient because it helps with calming the skin. We use copper. If you think, you know, we talked about the zinc deficiency as well. Copper is great for, you know, for you know, application of ingredients as well. But copper is still part of that family that helps with healing as well. So this is why it's really important. Also, usually at that time of the month, what does everyone do? You know, they'll get a breakout, won't they? But they'll be craving chocolate. Funny enough, magnesium as well is usually what happens. We usually are lacking magnesium at that time as well. So all of these are quite related. And Faye, please feel free. I love having you on. So if you want to add any more to that nutritional aspect as well. But we usually find that that's what tends to happen and why we see breakouts occurring at that time of the month. Vitamin A is also an amazing ingredient because it normalizes that cell turnover. So this is why vitamin A is also really good. So if we've got a cell turnover that's happening very quick, vitamin A is actually going to help to, you know, to normalize that cell turnover. And it's really important. And that's why bakuchiol is also a really great ingredient. It also has that antibacterial ally as well with it. So it's very, you know, friendly for antibacterial. So bakuchiol is also a really great ingredient to get onto our clients' skins as well. Okay, hence why all of those amazing ingredients are in our Clarity sensitive range. So we do use the name sensitive. Now, a lot of people think it is our sensitive line, but this question and, you know, those breakouts, because we know that, as I mentioned before, the inflammation that can occur. So that's where the name Clarity is from. But this is, you know, saying hello to clear, more refined and calm, and I have to throw that word in very, very boldly, is a calmer skin. And that's what we want for this skin. You know, we want to reduce that redness. We want to reduce that activity that's going on in that heartbeat that they're experiencing as well. So let's start with our Clarity Gel Cleanser. The Clarity Gel Cleanser is such an amazing cleanser. It's obviously very lightweight. You can use it like a little mini peel in the shower as well, nice and easy to use. It doesn't have the aggressive surfactants that are in there as well. So we don't use the SLSs, SLESs, anything like that. Obviously, we do have our coconut derived ingredients in there to help with that foaming. So this is a very gentle, I'll do it as well, you know, from time to time. If I do get the odd little breakout, I'll jump in and just apply this one to the skin. It's actually very cooling and very nice. So we have ingredients in here as well that is, we've got a rose water extract. So we all know that rose water extract also is very gentle to reduce that, you know, that inflammation and redness as well. But this one in particular, we have actually got the salicylic. So this is one not to be taken near the eye area. But this is great as part of your prep. So it also can be used in your treatment as well. But you'll see that we've some really great results up to, 94% that saying that people are even saying just after using the cleanser that they found that the oil was being controlled, which is fantastic. It's great to see that the pores become well. So we're not seeing, that inflammation, that irritation. In fact, it's actually making the skin feel really nice and calm. So it's just a nice, easy application. You just use the 1 to 2 pumps, massage it into that light lather again, add your water, make that beautiful foam over the skin. You can obviously add in our enzyme exfoliant if they want that extra boost, but please be mindful that that should only be someone with a little bit of congestion or blackheads. We don't want to go too aggressive with someone who's got lots of whiteheads or anything like that forming as well. So the Clarity Treatment Gel is our next one. So I didn't actually tell you, I've got 3 little words that I like to use. So whenever I am talking about the cleanser, I'll say calming, controlling, and hydrating. This is actually a really good, way to talk about the cleanser as well. So obviously the Clarity Treatment Gel is just divine. I think everyone that if you've got one in front of you, I say put some on now and feel it because it is so cooling as soon as you apply it. So that heartbeat that I spoke about before, the people that are feeling that, what you'll find is that as soon as they apply the Clarity Treatment Gel on, it's almost like a relief. It's like instant comfort to those zones. So this is why our clients love this because it does have that lightweight. It's obviously oil-free. Our men who don't want anything too heavy on the skin as well, this is a really great product to put on their skin. It is a number 2. You'll notice that we say it's a replenish phase. So this is designed to help with that hydration level in the skin, but also we've got the ingredients in there. So you have got the salicylic, you have got vitamin A, you've got C in there. And I'm just going to come back to C in just a moment. But obviously we do use it as part of our 3-step layering process. But when you are having a client that's maybe just concerned about oil and congestion, they might find that this is all that they need. They could actually use I like to use the Opulence Brightening Cream on top. I think that's usually the best option because it helps with any sort of discoloration or hyperpigmentation that can occur as well. But this is the product that they would use most likely already on their own. And the reason being is they've already got a protective barrier, haven't they? Because we think of number 3, and that is that protective barrier. Some people just need that little bit extra. So yes, you can use this just by itself. And you see the changes straight away. I always say larger bottle, larger area. So if they are experiencing it all on that cheek area, apply it to that area as well. If someone's a really sensitive skin, the first time, because there is the salicylic in it, I do encourage that maybe they just start at night for the first couple of nights as well, because they might see that little bit of activity with the salicylic acid, and it's just a nice way to slowly bring it in. Because if they haven't been using anything on their skin in the past, maybe they have been using something from the pharmacy as an example, their skin might not be ready to take on a salicylic or that cosmeceutical ingredient. So just get them to start slowly. Just a nice small film is all they need to do to start with, and watch the skin change as well. But then they just those first couple of days is all that they need to do. And that's, most people won't need that. But if you do have the odd person that you may think could be a little bit sensitive, that's always a good starting point. Obviously, we've also got the antioxidants in there as well. So you've got your vitamin E in there. Now, the reason why I just wanted to mention vitamin C is we know that C is great for that connective tissue and helping to the repair. But C sometimes in acne and oily skins can be too much. So just have a look at how much vitamin C your client is using. And just say to them, we know that vitamin C will last up to 48 hours in the skin, even longer with some people. So just be mindful that then they're not vitamin C booster as well. Is it needed? Really look at what's going on with their skin. We have actually put vitamin C in here. So I would rather that they go for a vitamin A or a bakuchiol instead, or an antioxidant booster that's a more natural vitamin C as an alternative as well for this client. Okay. So with the Clarity Treatment Gel, as I mentioned, we've got the A, C, and E in there. We've got the salicylic, so that's going to help with sloughing off. We've got the ginger root, it's going to help with redness. And then we've got the copper peptides. So these really help on having that calming effect. You know, the skin just feels absolutely amazing when using this. And you actually feel the coolness. Because it is that beautiful light gel, you only need to just pump it down slowly, but you see this, you feel the changes in the skin. So this is a really amazing treatment gel to add to the products, to the regime. So our Clarity Wand, or our magic wand, is our next one. So when we look at the Clarity Wand, it is about targeting, repairing, and also preventing this, the breakout. Now, this is an amazing little wand. It's designed so that you can go directly on the spot, not the surrounding areas. We don't want to make the surrounding areas redder or more irritated. But as soon as the breakout starts to just, you just start to feel the little lump starting to come up, that's when you can go in with the Clarity Wand. Now, you can use the Clarity Wand twice a day as well. I like to use it as the last step, because you don't want to then spread it over. You want to have it directly on the spot. I also find that if you are, like I mentioned before, I felt like my breakouts used to have their own heartbeat. This is something, instead of going and squeezing, you can go and apply a little dot onto the skin. So it takes away that feeling of irritation, that feeling of, I just want to touch it, I just want to scratch it, I just want to squeeze it, whatever it is that they want to do. This is going to help to do that. Now, how that does that is that the way that it works is it's designed to have the tea tree. So we know that tea tree is an amazing ingredient for, really getting into that breakout and really addressing the concern. But it also has the comforting factor as well, so that you can feel the changes, the irritation, all of those things start to go down. And we've also added in the salicylic, so it's helping with that as well. This is also a product that you can sell to your client that are prone to ingrowns. Same with the treatment gel. If they are prone to ingrowns on a larger area, they can also use that as well. So this has got amazing comforting as well in there. So we've got the salicylic, the tea tree, and we've also got the allantoin in there as well, which is going to help with that gentle exfoliation, but also helping to reduce any sort of irritation as well. Okay. Some of the other products I just wanted to mention, I know I mentioned bakuchiol before, so that's definitely an end. But we do need to look at the way that they're exfoliating their skin, because anyone that does have breakouts, they feel like their skin is dirty, that they're, we hear of these horror stories. People are at pipes, or they're using, scouring pads on their skin as well. You hear of all these things because they feel like they just can't get clean enough. And I think taught them about, an effective enzyme exfoliant that's going to work in a very gentle way. Now, we all know that this has also got the bamboo bead in it. So it means that you can really control the way the client uses it. So if they're a client that loves exfoliation, they will want to exfoliate. So this is where we need to talk to them about maybe using the enzyme exfoliant, but maybe what they need to do is add it into that cleanser. So it just gives that little bit of extra buffer, so it's not so intensive if they are going to scrub the skin. A client that, is able to, I just say to apply it to the skin. Do it in the shower, keep it very gentle as well on the skin, and just let the enzymes and the lactic acids do their work in there as well. The mist, I mentioned before that we have the rose floral water that's also in our gentle cleanser. The rose is also a great mist to be using on a skin like this because it's very calming. It reduces the redness. You've got the antioxidant protection in there as well. But they can spray it straight onto a cotton round, and then they can wipe as well. So if they are a client, just so after cleansing, they could be using this as an additional product to use to help to reduce the redness, and to also just to take away that irritation, but to give them that extra antioxidant protection. And as I mentioned before, the vitamin C that's in here is from the kakadu plum, and we know how amazing that kakadu plum vitamin C is. but it doesn't have the same sort of intensity that's going to cause any blackheads or anything like that on the skin as well. Then we've got vitamin A. So vitamin A booster, I think, is a must-have for anyone that does have any sort of congestion. So it helps with that normalizing of the cell renewal as well. If they are a younger skin, though, I don't like to use vitamin A on a younger skin. I think that a younger skin is going to be more benefit from bakuchiol. So it's a more gentle approach. We know that if they go out in the sun, it's going to be okay. It's definitely something that's going to be a better alternative to a stronger vitamin A for our younger skins. But if you've got an adult acne in front of you, then this is ideal for it. It's going to be, better off with some additional boosters. I wouldn't start them off straight off with these products being added in. It might be after seeing how their skin goes with, the treatment gel, the cleanser, and the wand, and then move into some products for them. So just see, some clients are like, yep, give me everything, fantastic. So this might be where you say just start to use it every second night, slowly introduce it as well. When would you use the booster? Obviously, it's number one, isn't it? So you would use the boosters first and then your treatment gel. Okay, so let's have a look at the professional serums as well. So with our professional serums, we do use all of the same ingredients, don't we? We've got the salicylic, or could help if I do it up the right way. We've got the bisabosyl, and we've got the ginger root. So all amazing ingredients, very calming. The consistency of this as well is that it's a lot finer. So this is why we're going to go through the treatment in just a few minutes. But we do need to adjust it. We need to also know that this is a product that we don't want to take around the eyes or on the lip area. It's designed to actually really work with that breakout and congestion as well. We have also got some other amazing ingredients in here. So not only are we working on the inflammation and obviously the salicylic in there getting down into the actual cells. One thing with salicylic is it's oil loving. So it does love to get down deep into the follicle. So we do see this change. But we've added some extra ingredients into the professional serum as well. So one of them is actually an extract from the evergreen bush. It's known as chaparral as well, if you've heard of it, and it has some amazing antioxidant properties. And then we also have a thyme ingredient added in there as well. Now, the thyme has amazing antibacterial properties, and it also has that anti-inflammatory. So when you give this treatment, you'll notice the skin changes. Has anyone seen it change? When you're giving the treatment, it just seems to be so much more calm. It changes. The redness seems to disappear as well. I have got one of our nurses in here just for you as well. But those ingredients are what we add into the Clarity Professional as well to make it different and to really give that more intensity at the time of the treatment. The treatments can actually be performed 1 to 2 times on your client and how quick do they want the results. If they want the results now, which most of them do, then they can do this twice a week as well. The Clarity treatment itself, depending on which machine you have, we would start off with doing our deep cleanse. Now, normally our deep cleanse involves our gentle cleanser, our cleansing gel, and our enzyme exfoliant. I love, though, to introduce the Clarity cleanser as well. So I would actually use this as my final step before doing the treatment so that the clients get to experience what you're making a recommendation to go home with as well. The most important things with the step-by-step with the Clarity is that we want to make sure the eyes are now covered. Obviously, we're going to spray over, but if you have the digital machine, then you will put this onto 3. If you have the dial, then you would put it around that 2.5 as well. So we're going to apply the serum all over the skin. And then we're then going to go in with the actual movements as well. The movements are a little bit different. Once you have actually completed all of the movements, I then encourage, if you do have some spots to come over and circle over them as well. So I'm just going to take you through. So the clarity treatment works a little bit differently, doesn't it? I'm just going to take my glasses off for this one for you now. It's a bit hard to do a treatment with the glasses on, but we're going to work towards the lymph nodes. When we look at how lymph work, it's all about collecting and filtering all of the I guess that I call them the bad things that happen, in our skin. It's all about releasing all of those, and especially with a skin that's thin and it's almost like we've got a blockage that starts to happen. We've got those toxins that are there. So this movement has been designed so that we can really work towards those lymph nodes. And what we're going to do is we're going to obviously depress. So never use your thumbs, turn it upside down on a bench, push it down, give it a little shake to release all of the ingredients. We obviously have the salicylic, and that's what we're releasing in there to make sure it goes in. Obviously pop it into your lid. And then what we're going to do is we're going to work. Now, when we are actually applying this, we're working around and we're going to work towards those lymph nodes. So you'll see that we just call them points 1, point 2, and point 3. I'll go through lymph nodes in just a moment, but we've got obviously our preauricular and we've got our parotoid lymph nodes as well that we're working through. And that's going to work firstly on those forehead and then that nasal passage area as well. So if they are experiencing, maybe that adrenal stress and we're seeing the breakouts in those zones. So all we're going to do is eyes covered, and we're just going to work across the forehead around the actual eyebrow, and then we're just going to work to point 1. We're just going to work around, and then we're just going to slightly move that up, working around all the way around, and then applying. So we're just working that movement all the way around to point 1. Okay, so nice and easy. When we're then doing the nose and the cheek area, we're just going to come up on that bridge part and we're just going to come down. Make sure that we're really facing the actual serum away from the eye, working through, and the movement is just nice and slow. So working through, still to point 1. So you'll probably find it's about 3 movements to point 1 on that nose. And then we're going to keep coming down, and we'll probably go more across now to point 2. So if you think point 1, point 2, and point 3. So these are probably the best way for me to just explain it. So coming through, so just those next 3 points. Then the next one is actually going to be on the top lip. So we're now going to work across, still working into that zone, coming right in. So although we're not going on the lip itself, we are still going on top. And sometimes we see, I guess just around the edge of the lip, we can sometimes see those little blackheads and things that can actually occur in that zone. So just still working through, keeping it that nice pace as well. Now, once we've done that zone, we're going to go back to our normal treatment protocol, which is just coming up underneath the chin. So starting underneath and working all the way through. So we're just going to keep that same movement that we all know very, very well, working that all the way through towards those lymph nodes. Okay, so working that through. Now you can also go through and do the neck. So you can continue and finish off with the neck. I know it doesn't have it on our step-by-step protocols, but if you've got a client that has got that adrenal breakout in that zone, please make sure that you do ensure that that is covered. We don't obviously talk about the chest or the back, but this is also an amazing treatment to do on the chest and the back. If you are going to do those zones, then you might find that you will have to charge for an extra location, but all we're going to do is start from the middle and then work out. So that's all it is. It's just working out towards almost to the underarm is the zone that we're working out to. So we're just going to keep working on that zone. Same on both sides, just working through. And on the back, which makes a great back knee treatment if you haven't already got one on your actual treatment menu, just working out, just keep working through to that point as well. Okay. would we change the digital machine settings to be? You can, no, you can still keep it on face, Emily, but that's a really good point. But you would keep it on the face side. That's fine, even though we are doing the body, I know, but you would just keep it on the actual face protocol and keep it on number 3 for the digital as well. But that's a really good question. Thank you for asking that one. Okay, then we're going to go through step by steps with our treatment gel. Okay, so when we look at acne and how it occurs as well, we know that you're probably wondering why I've got all these pictures of of the lymphatic drainage. And the reason why we really love using a manual lymphatic drainage for acne in particular at the end of the treatment is that most of our treatment works towards that lymph nodes, don't they? If you notice, everything that we do, it is always starting in the middle and working out. Okay, when you look at manual lymphatic drainage for acne skins, there's a really lot of great benefits in there to actually incorporate doing some sort of a manual lymphatic drainage afterwards as well. So we have adopted, obviously, using a technique that is with the treatment gel, and we use it because of its detoxification. We know that if we can add those extra things at the end of the treatment, it's definitely going to help our clients. When you look at how lymph nodes, as I mentioned, work, they're all about collecting and filtering, into the lymph nodes. And so this is why it's really important that we see that. We've got our pre-auricular, if I can say them. You've got parotoid, you've got your mandibular, you've got all of these different ones that are working into different and draining into different zones. And this is why it's really important that we do use those and that we make those changes. We know that it helps to reduce inflammation in the skin as well. We know that it's going to help with the circulation, which is what we mentioned before. So this is a little technique that you can also show your clients how to do at home. So this is where I might start talking to them as to how are they applying their treatment gel at home. And you might even say to them, I'm just going to show you a couple of little techniques. As you can see, our lymph nodes, there's so many. We've got quite a few there, don't we? I think in total it's like 300 in total. So we have quite a few throughout the body, but this can also be used on the chest area. If you're someone who uses a gua sha tool or anything at all like that, this is an opportunity for you to also use it with the treatment gel if you have a client that does also have any concerns, but it's going to help with circulation. It's going to help with stress relief because it feels divine. Anyone that has this treatment feels beautiful. So we're just going to take 1 to 2 pumps of our treatment gel. And with the actual movements that we've adopted are actually like a little wave. So we're just going to start on the forehead area. We're going to start, I might have to take these off again. And we're going to just start with, now it doesn't matter, if you prefer to use those 2 fingers or you prefer to use your pointer in your middle, it's entirely up to you. I'm used to using those 2. But obviously if we're with a client, it's going to be this way. But we're just going to start on the forehead and they're like little wave movements. Okay, and we're working to those same points. So the pre-auricular, we're working to the parotoid, so working to those nodes. So we're going to start with the little waves, really light motions, working out. And then once we get to those points, we're just going to press 1, 2, and 3. Okay, then we're going to move up. So we're going to keep going with those motions until we've done all of the forehead areas. So again, 1, 2, and 3, working up towards the top of the head, working down, and then 1, 2, and 3. Then we're going to come up very much like what we've just done with our treatment with the oxygen. We're just going to apply, so starting at the bridge of the nose, working down in those little wave motions, working out towards the outside, and just remembering the 1, 2, and 3 at the end, working further down with the little waves, And I think you'll all find, like, I'm even feeling relaxed just doing these myself, but it's something that's designed so that you do get that nice, I guess, that stress relief, because there's nothing worse when you have all of these breakouts, and it is quite stressful to see. So this is another little aspect that we want to do for our client. So working down, coming out, down, I'm just going to speed it up a little bit, but working out now towards that top lip, working out down to point 2, 1, 2, and 3 at the end, working just underneath the mouth, working out 1, 2, and 3, again underneath, and then the last one just underneath the chin. Now, again, moving out towards the neck. Okay, you might change the angle of your hands now, working down the neck and working across. So working across still in those zones until you actually reach the clavicle node as well. So working out towards that zone. You can then do the chest if you wanted to, working out to our outside, working all the way through, just nice little wave motions, and then just remembering at the end the 3 points, 1, 2, and 3 at the end. The same thing would happen on the back, only that when we're working towards the back, we're working just again near that armpit, and we're just going to do the nice little waves, working out to that zone. So don't rush this part. Make it very relaxing for your client. So just working through on those points and going through the motions. Okay, 1, 2, and 3. Is everyone feeling quite comfortable with that? So what you'll find is it's just a nice little movement. It's going to really help with that that process for your client. And when you see all of these little changes in their skin and how it just helps them to be less stressed as well, that's obviously all we want to achieve. Once I've applied the treatment gel, obviously you can do your eye gel, you can actually then do your spot treatment, unless you are going to put on the moisture brightening cream as an option as well. But obviously when we work with all of these ingredients, they're going to be helping to combine together to get the best results. So I'm just going to show you now as well. This is one of my nurses in the city who has just done amazing. I mean, this is just one of the ones that I have. No, but there are so many out there. I think we've seen some other articles that marketing have of some of the results that we have with acne. But I just love this one because I know the story behind it. I get to obviously talk to my nurse, and you know, she was just so happy when she told me what she achieved. This was after 1 week. And you know, to change someone's skin like this after a week, it's just so exciting. So you can see in the top picture, there's a couple of little markings that are still there in this bottom picture, but you can see how much it's healed. You can see the difference in those more aggressive breakouts. You'll also see the one on the right. I love this one because this shows the left side of the face, and you can see that big aggressive one just at the top part of her cheek and how much that's actually reduced as well. And then the forehead, you know, to see that the skin's really hydrated now. It doesn't have the breakouts. It's in a really healthy condition as well, and she's got less breakouts. And this is what we want. We want a skin that's in a healthy condition. It's not being stripped. It's able to reduce that inflammation. The skin's just happy and healthy. And this girl was ecstatic. And that's what I love, is hearing these stories about how happy people are with their skin after having, you know, the treatments as well. I'm just going to check. I've got a couple of chats. So, okay, so how many treatments? So Emily, that was 2 treatments in the salon. So she had, so in the week, she did the 2. She did the one on the first day that she came in, and then she also did a second treatment. And what the client was taking home was she had the cleanser, she had the treatment gel, and she also had the wand, but she also had, what she also had was a vitamin A. So she made sure that she had the vitamin A booster as well. And she started her off on it straight up, which you can see didn't make any changes to inflammation or redness or anything like that to the skin. So her skin was able to tolerate it, even though to me she looks like she has quite a sensitive a sensitive skin, she was still able to tolerate it. And it's just beautiful to see the changes in the skin, isn't it? So, so this is just one result. Obviously, we know that results vary and everyone has different responses. I'm just going to check that chat again. An impaired barrier. Yeah, look, I think she might have had a little bit of an impaired barrier as well. And that's why I'm cautious of when people are starting anything new, just to say, start slowly. So yes, I will definitely send this out to everyone that's registered today to Mia. So thank you. Yes, I'll definitely make sure everyone's got a copy of the recording. But I think when the skin has got an impaired barrier prior, we want to make sure that they're introducing ingredients in a good way, that they don't have a response, or they feel that tingle or whatever it is that they may feel. We want to make sure that the skin's maintaining that barrier and working really well. And I guess that's what we do in everything that we do in Intraceuticals. It's about maintaining the health of the skin and making sure that the skin gets the best results it possibly can. So, so I just wanted to say thank you very much. If anyone's got any questions, please let me know. I also wanted to just say, for those who want to get started with Clarity, if you haven't already got it in your business, please speak to your representatives, because we have a great package where you can save up to 26% on getting it introduced into your business. And it includes your professional serums. It has a course pack. If you haven't already seen the course pack, it's great to share. The course pack has everything in there as well. So you've got your 6 treatments, you've got the wand, and you've got the treatment gel and the explanation for them to take home. It has 2 of each of the retail products, a tester for you as well, and also your professional size back bar and treatment gel as well. So, so I'm just going to check these questions. But yes, it is very important. Emily, thank you for taking home a cleanser to balance the pH. We know that this skin, it's already impaired. We know that the skin really needs to make sure that it's not having anything that's too aggressive. So yeah, very, very important. Thank you, everyone. Clarity is it's such a fulfilling treatment to do, because you see such beautiful results and you do it in a way that you're on that journey with them. You watch them change, you watch their skin change, and they literally just use the treatment gel as well. I don't know if anyone's done it, but they put it on and they go, oh, my skin the next day, or the wand, only after a couple of days everything starts to change, and the skin just is amazing. So I can't wait to see your results. I can't wait to see your before and afters. So please send them through, everyone. Please just share them with us, because we love them. We love seeing these sorts of things. So thank you so much, everyone. If you do want a copy of today's session, I'm more than happy to send you through the links. And if you have any further questions, please feel free to reach out. Lovely to see you. Please organise getting those posters in your business as well. These are really great to use. So love seeing you all, and look forward to seeing you in our next session next month as well. All the best, everyone.